Hi everyone, I'm Kat and welcome to my channel, Naturally Beautiful Girl. I know a lot of you have requested this video and I'm so happy to be bringing it to you. And my video today, as you can probably guess by the title, is going to be reviewing the new liquid lipsticks from Honest Beauty. And the moment I saw these drop, I immediately purchased one and then I tried it, and spoiler alert, I liked it. I posted on Instagram stories asking you guys what kind of videos you'd like to see, and a lot of you asked for swatches of the liquid lipsticks. And because I liked the one shade, I was like, well, I'll go ahead and pick up some more. So I did. I didn't pick up the full collection of the lipsticks for a couple reasons. One, I had to purchase them myself. And although Honest Beauty has a pretty affordable price point, I purchased 5 of these, and that's pretty expensive. If you want me to keep doing content like this, it's helpful for you guys to follow me on Instagram, to subscribe to my channel, because the more subscribers and followers I have, the more likely brands like Honest Beauty are to send PR to me, which right now I'm too small and they're too big, and if that happened, I would fall off the chair I was sitting on. Anyway, I have 5 of the 7 shades. The 2 shades I didn't pick up looked either too light for me or too brown. They were 2 shades from looking online were not shades that I would want to wear because I have very fair skin, as you guys can see, and I find that if lipsticks are too brown or too light, it just washes me out. It doesn't look quite right. So I don't have those 2 shades. And I'm pulling it up here. The 2 shades I don't have are BFF and the shade Off Duty. Off Duty looked very light. It looks like a very pale nude, and then BFF looked like it was definitely more of a brownish nude, which once again, I don't wear that type of color, so I didn't pick it up. But I do have the shades, and I'll be doing swatches of all these in a minute, but I do have the shades Happiness, Forever, and Forever is the one I have on at the moment, and it was the first color I picked up. I also have Fearless, Passion, and Goddess. So we got a good selection to work with here, and hopefully swatching some of these and putting them on my lips will be helpful. Before I get into swatches, I first want to tell you my thoughts on this formula. And my thought is, it's really good. It's a completely different formula than something like the Clove and Hallow liquid lipsticks. I love the Clove and Hallow liquid lipsticks, but those dry down very matte and they're pretty transfer proof. This one does dry down, but it's not as matte as the Clove and Hallow, so it's not as drying. It does stay a little bit tacky, at least for a while. As the day wears on, it gets pretty matte, but at first, at the beginning, it can be a little tacky, and then it kind of dries down further. But what I like about this formula so much is I honestly forget that I have a lipstick on. Once it does dry down, it feels like you don't have anything on your lips. And I mean that in the best possible way, in that it's not at all drying, like my lips don't feel dry throughout the day, but it's also not overly creamy, which I mean, I love a good creamy lipstick. When you have a creamy lipstick on, you can feel that you have a creamy lipstick on, but this is just like your lips. It's kind of the perfect finish. It's really unique and really cool, and I'm really happy that Honest Beauty was able to achieve this type of formula. Also, it does transfer. Here, I've got it on my lips right now. I'm gonna kiss my hand, and a bit transferred. I also put this on pretty recently, so it hasn't fully dried down, but there is a bit of transfer with it. The color is still there. Like, I don't need to reapply it even though some of it transferred. And that's what I find with this lipstick is, yes, it does transfer, it does come off. I'm drinking anything. I can see my lipstick on the glass that I'm drinking out of, but when I look in the mirror, there's still lipstick on my lips. Like, it's not completely gone. And it is easy to touch up though, because it's not an overly drying formula. It's actually really easy to reapply it, and things don't get bunchy or cakey if you put more on top, which is really nice. And I really can go most of my work day without reapplying. Like yesterday I wore this lipstick, and while I was working I didn't reapply it. I just reapplied it before going to dinner with my husband. I really don't like having to worry about my makeup or fuss with my makeup or reapply my lipstick. If I can find a product that will really hold up all day long, and yeah, maybe at the end of the day before going to dinner or you're going to a movie or whatever, if I need to reapply it at that point, that's fine, but I don't want to have to worry about it like during normal working hours. And that's what I like about this lipstick. The short answer is that this formula is really good and I really like it. I would not have gone ahead and purchased the 4 other colors if I hadn't actually liked the original formula of it. I would have just given you my review on that shade, and that would have been the end of it. So that tells you something, because I was willing to pay my own money to get additional colors in this formula. So Honest Beauty, it is one of the cleaner brands. I wouldn't call it the cleanest. You guys know that on my channel, I'm not a purist with ingredients. I really look for brands that are doing better, that have cleaner ingredients, that don't have parabens. I am more flexible than a lot of other people. And one of the reasons why I am that way about products has to do a lot with accessibility. Honest Beauty is a brand that's available at Target. And yeah, their ingredients might not be perfect, especially compared to, I don't know, something like 100% Pure, where all their dyes are made from fruit pigments. But Honest Beauty has a lower price point, and in a lot of cases you can physically walk into a store and see Honest Beauty products there. These lipsticks weren't available in my Target. My Target has a pretty small, like, clean, non-toxic beauty section. I did order one of these lipsticks online from Target, and then the other 4 I actually ordered on Amazon. That was just easier for me to get all the shades and get them in time to be able to actually do this video for you guys. And these lipsticks are also available on the Honest Beauty website as well. So you've got Target, Amazon, and honestbeauty.com. Honest Beauty does say it is cruelty-free. I've heard some mixed comments about whether or not it's actually cruelty-free or not. With cruelty-free, I really just kind of go off of the brand. If they say they're not testing their products on animals, I'm okay with that. Cruelty-free for different people means different things. That's the definition I'm working off of. Honest Beauty says they're not testing on animals, and I am okay with that. If you're curious about these lipsticks, I would say pick one up, give it a try. I really like the formula. If this formula sounds good to you, something that dries down a bit, but isn't overly drying, it's, you know, kind of a weightless formula that you forget you have it on. It does settle into my fine lines a little bit, but most liquid lipsticks will. This one settles a lot less than a lot of other lipsticks that I've tried because it's not a purely matte formula. It's a bit more forgiving with that. It's really nice to have products that don't overly accentuate that, especially liquid lipsticks. So these lipsticks are $12.99, which in the scheme of lipsticks, that's actually a pretty good price. Quite comparable to a conventional drugstore lipstick at that point. So I think it's really great price point, and as always, I appreciate the accessibility. I also really like the packaging of the lipsticks. Honest Beauty, when they did their rebrand, their packaging is so good. I like the clear package that lets you see the shade of the lipstick. Also, the Honest Beauty printed on it's really nice as well, and the white cap just looks clean. It looks fresh. Yeah, it's just nice packaging, and it does have a doe foot applicator, which is what you would expect for a liquid lipstick. The one con I am going to say about the packaging of these is something that you can't see right now because I had to take it off in order to use the lipstick. But when I got these lipsticks, they came completely shrink wrapped in plastic, and that shrink wrap had the ingredients listed on it, all of that, which would normally be on like the outside of a box. It didn't come in a box, it just came individually shrink wrapped. And that's going to be my one comment to Honest Beauty. That shrink wrap frustrated me for 2 different reasons. One, it was actually a big pain to get off. It took a ridiculous amount of time to get off. It was kind of stuck onto the actual tube itself, and so it wasn't easy to remove. And then also what frustrated me about it too is it generated a whole bunch of plastic waste, which is really hard to get rid of. I don't think it was recyclable, so I had to throw it out. I'm gonna call them out and say we should be doing all that we can to make our packaging recyclable, especially a brand like Honest Beauty. I would expect that from them. So yeah, Honest Beauty, if you're seeing this, try and figure out a way not to use that plastic shrink wrap, because that just makes it A, very difficult to actually get into the product, and then B, also generates a lot of waste. I highly recommend trying them. I think especially for the price point, it's worth trying, and the colors are pretty fun and cool too. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what the colors look like. The first shade I've swatched right here is the shade Forever, and this is what I have on my lips. It is what I would consider a kind of deep, dusty pink. It looks much deeper in the swatch than it does on my lips, as you can see. And this is what it looks like in the tube. But the one thing I can say is it seems pretty accurate in terms of what you see in the tube and then the color you see on your lips, at least for me. And this is the first one I went for because it's definitely a color I would wear. It's a dusty pink, which if you guys watch my channel a lot, you see me wearing a lot of dusty pinks. This is definitely a nice color that I think would be flattering on a lot of skin tones. The next shade down is the shade Happiness. And Happiness, I would say, definitely has more of an orangey tone to it. It's a bit more of a coral shade. And here's what it looks like in the tube. It's definitely a bit more orange and a bit more vibrant than it looks in the tube itself. But I still think it's a really pretty color, especially for summer. This is perfect for kind of a summery look. It's not a color that I typically would find myself wearing, but I really do like how this looks on me. And it is a fun color. And also one of the nice things about these lipsticks, they also don't bleed, which makes wearing these kind of vibrant colors easier as well, because you don't have to worry about them running outside the lines or getting all over the place. The next shade I have here is the shade Passion. So Passion and Happiness, as you can see, are pretty close in shade, but Passion is a bit, I'd say it's a bit deeper, a bit more of a reddish pink. I like it a little bit better than Happiness. I just think this color is a little bit more flattering on my skin tone and is a color I would reach for a bit more. But it's still a very fun, vibrant color for summer. It's kind of a cross between a warm pink and a red. But I definitely like this shade, and once again, it applied very well. It wasn't patchy, it's super pigmented. So yeah, another really great shade. The next shade I have down here is the shade Forever, and I can tell you that this is going to be a shade that I am going to be reaching for so much this fall. It's the deepest shade, I think, in the whole line. Yeah, because all the other shades are lighter, so it's the deepest one, but it is the most beautiful berry. Like, this is, to me, the ideal berry because it's not too purple. It has enough pink in it, but it's still got that purpley pink look. If I were to make a berry lipstick shade, this would be the color I would want. I think this would be great for fall as well because it, once again, is this liquid lipstick formula. It won't transfer as much. It won't slide around. It won't run out of your lip line. Like, this is the formula that you want for a shade like this. This went on so well. Like, this color is so pigmented. It's not patchy at all, which, especially for being this dark of a lipstick shade, is impressive. Because when you start getting this dark, oftentimes there'll be problems with the formula. You'll see that translating in the color being difficult to get on your lips and get it applied evenly and not having it look patchy, but this went on perfectly. So if you're in the market for a berry lipstick, like this lipstick in the shade Forever is kind of perfect. You're not going to see me wearing it much this summer just because it's not a summer shade, or at least for me it's not a summer shade, but in the fall this lipstick is going to be around a lot. And the final lipstick shade I have down here is the shade Goddess. And this one is a very fun bright pink. It's a slightly warmer pink. It's not a cool tone bright pink. It's not a fuchsia color, but it has a slight bit of warmth to it. But it's definitely a lot more pink than, for instance, Happiness up here. So, or Passion as well. So I would say though, honestly, out of the colors, I would say you probably don't need both Goddess and Happiness. I would probably go with one or the other, depending on which shade you like better, or if you like wearing really fun, bright lipsticks, then go for both. I feel like the colors overall, there's a nice variety of colors. They all look distinct from each other, and I think there's a shade for everyone. And like I said, there's the 2 other shades that also look pretty. They just aren't shades that I would reach for, so I didn't go ahead and pick those up. But I really like this one. I actually put this one on last because I want to wear it for the rest of the day today. So I think this will be a fun one for today. I also wanted to tell you a couple of things. To remove the swatches, I actually use the Honest Beauty makeup remover wipes, which I don't use these to remove my makeup off my face, but I've been liking these a lot to remove swatches, or if I'm doing lip swatches, or if I mess up my eye makeup or something, I will reach for these as well. I really like them. I find they work well, and I wanted to share with you that they were doing a really good job of removing these liquid lipsticks off my lips. They haven't dried down fully, but they were getting pretty dry, so even with them drying down, I was still able to remove them, and my lips weren't stained either. So that was a good sign, and I like that about it. Even with swatching 5 different shades, my lips feel a little, like I can feel my lips, but they don't feel overly raw, and I think that is a sign as well that this formula is really not drying. It's quite a comfortable formula, so even with putting 5 of these lipsticks on and then taking them off in between, my lips still feel very comfortable. I have to say, even with swatching and playing with the rest of the shades, I'm even more impressed by the formula. I hadn't, unfortunately, had a chance to try out all the shades beforehand. Like I said, I just tried out forever, but I am so impressed by the formula because for every single shade, they were all pigmented, they were all not patchy, they applied really well. Also, I've not worn any of these as a lip liner. They don't seem to bleed at all. I really, really like these. I'm so happy that these are now available. I feel like they fulfill a missing spot in non-toxic beauty because I really can't think of another lipstick formula that's quite like these. Like I said, the Clove and Hallow is definitely more matte, more drying. Same thing with the Spila lipsticks, although if you want a matte liquid lipstick, go with the Clove and Hallow. It is so much better than the Spila, just skip the Spila. That formula is just not nearly as good as the Clove and Hallow, but this one is definitely more comfortable. The Clove and Hallow is pretty comfortable, but this one is even more comfortable than those. So if you are looking for something that's a little bit more comfortable, the Honest Beauty liquid lipsticks are a great option. Also for the price point and the ingredients, it's really quite hard to beat. So I think out of all the shades, I definitely think Forever is definitely one of my favorites. I really do like this shade here, which I have on right now, which is Goddess. I also, of course, really like the shade Forever. Passion surprised me. I don't think Happiness will be my favorite shade, but I'll definitely wear it. So I hope seeing all these lipsticks swatch was helpful and hearing my thoughts about it as well was helpful. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, check out my Instagram. I'll have my handle down below. I'm at Naturally Beautiful Girl. I have lots of other non-toxic, cruelty-free content on there and swatches and all sorts of fun stuff. So be sure to check me out there. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!